Does the simple act of opening a tight jar feel more like a battle than a task? Do you find yourself using the arms of a chair, pushing with all your might, just to stand up? These moments, which you might dismiss as just getting older, are not insignificant. They are alarm bells. That feeling of fading physical power in your hands and legs is a direct and urgent warning sign from your body, and it is profoundly connected to a much more private struggle, a loss of power in the bedroom that we absolutely need to talk about right now. This isn't just about strength. It's about a silent erosion of the very foundation of your masculinity, and ignoring it is a risk you can no longer afford to take. I am Dr. Valeria Alcantara, and for over 2 decades, I have dedicated my practice to helping men navigate the complex challenges that come after 60. I am here to speak to you not just as a doctor, but as a confidant who understands the unspoken fears that keep you up at night. I want to tell you, with absolute clinical certainty, that the force in your grip and the firmness of your erection are not separate issues. They are 2 branches of the same tree, nourished by the same roots of hormonal balance and strong circulation. When you see one branch withering, it is a clear sign that the entire system is in jeopardy. This is not a guess. It is a biological fact that holds the key to reclaiming your vitality. This connection creates a devastating domino effect that can quietly dismantle a man's life. When testosterone levels decline and your circulatory system becomes sluggish, it's like trying to run a high-performance engine on watered-down fuel. It doesn't just weaken the major muscle groups you rely on for daily tasks. More critically, it starves the intricate network of blood vessels in your penis, of the oxygen and nutrients required for a firm, lasting erection. This leads to a vicious cycle. The physical weakness feeds the performance anxiety, and the performance anxiety creates emotional distance. You begin to avoid intimacy, not out of a lack of desire, but out of a deep fear of failure, slowly chipping away at the confidence that once defined you as a man. But I need you to hear this loud and clear. This is not your destiny. So many men I see in my clinic have resigned themselves to this fate, accepting a life where their world shrinks and their most intimate connections fade into memory. They believe this weakness is an irreversible sentence of aging, but that feeling of losing your power is not an endpoint. It is a crucial wake-up call. It is your body's way of screaming that the fundamental systems that provide your strength, your energy, and your virility are being neglected. You can choose to ignore this signal and drift into a life of quiet desperation, or you can choose to answer it, to provide the right fuel, and to reignite the powerful, confident, and virile man you know you still are. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Robert. At 68, Robert was the rock of his family, the man who had built their deck, fixed every leaky faucet, and opened every stubborn jar his wife Maria handed him. But one Tuesday evening, a simple jar of pickles defeated him. He twisted until his knuckles were white, and his breath was short, but the lid wouldn't budge. He felt a hot flash of shame as he handed it back to Maria, who opened it with a towel. It was a small moment, but for Robert, it felt like a public announcement of his decline. He saw a flicker of surprise, maybe even pity, in her eyes, and in that instant he felt a part of his masculine identity crumble into dust, a feeling far more painful than the weakness in his hands. That feeling began to follow him, a shadow in his own home. He started avoiding tasks that required strength, preemptively asking his son for help with the yard work he once took pride in. He was constructing a new reality where his weakness was normal, expected. But inside, a silent battle raged. This wasn't just about physical strength, it was about his role, his purpose. The man who had once been a protector and a problem solver now felt like a fragile relic. He would look at his own hands, the hands that had held his children and provided for his family, and see them as traitors. This secret erosion of his confidence was a poison, slowly seeping into every corner of his life, especially the most intimate ones. This internal crisis always reached its peak in the quiet of the bedroom. When Maria would turn to him, her touch once a source of passion and connection, Robert would feel a surge of pure panic. His mind would race, not with desire, but with a terrifying checklist of potential failures. The memory of his weak grip on that pickle jar would flash in his mind, and he would instantly connect it to the lack of firmness he feared in his erection. It was the same system failing him, the same power outage dimming the lights all over his body. His fear of disappointing her, of failing as a husband and a lover, was so immense that it physically paralyzed him, extinguishing any spark before it could even catch fire. So he began to build a wall, brick by brick, with excuses. "I'm just tired from the day," he'd say, turning his back to her, or "my shoulder is acting up again." Each excuse was a small lie that chipped away at the trust they had built over 40 years. Maria, sensing his retreat, eventually stopped reaching for him. The space between them and the bed grew cold and vast, a silent testament to a problem they couldn't name. Robert was trapped in a lonely prison of his own making, starving for connection, but terrified of the vulnerability required to achieve it. He was losing his wife not to another man, but to his own fading virility and the profound shame that came with it. Then there's Arthur, a 72-year-old widower I met last year. His wife Eleanor had been the vibrant center of his social world. After she passed, he found himself adrift in a sea of loneliness. His children encouraged him to join clubs, to travel, even to try dating again. He wanted to, he truly did, but a deep-seated fear held him back. It wasn't just the fear of putting his heart on the line. It was a fear rooted in his body. He'd recently tried to help his grandson with a heavy fishing cooler and had to stop, breathless and weak, letting the boy handle it himself. That moment of frailty terrified him. It was a physical manifestation of how vulnerable and diminished he felt inside. This loss of physical power became Arthur's excuse to retreat from life. He'd decline invitations to go on hikes with friends, imagining himself lagging behind, or, worse, falling. He saw a nice woman at his community center and imagined asking her to dance, but then his mind immediately flooded with doubt. What if his legs felt unsteady? What if he couldn't even lead her with a confident hand? The thought of intimacy was even more daunting. He'd think, if I don't even feel strong and stable in my own body, how can I possibly be the kind of confident, capable man a woman would desire? His world was shrinking, defined not by possibilities, but by the limitations his weakening body imposed upon him. The stories of Robert and Arthur are not unique. I have heard variations of them thousands of times in my clinic. These men, and perhaps you, believe you are fighting two separate wars, one against the loss of physical strength in your daily life, and a private, silent one against the loss of your erection in the bedroom. But I am here to tell you, with absolute clinical certainty, that this is not two separate wars. It is one single battle, fought on one single front. The same systemic breakdown that weakens the muscles in your hands and legs is the very same breakdown that is starving your erections of their power and your spirit of its confidence. To understand this, I want you to think of your male vitality not as a single flame, but as a complex electrical grid. The main power plant of this grid is your testosterone production. Testosterone is the master architect of your masculinity. It dictates muscle mass, bone density, energy levels, and, crucially, your libido, that fundamental drive to seek out intimacy. When you are young, this power plant runs at full capacity, flooding the grid with energy. But, as you age, and especially if neglected, the output from this plant begins to flicker and fade. This is not a moral failing. It is a biological process that, without intervention, can lead to a systemic brownout across your entire body. However, even a functioning power plant is useless if the power lines are down. This is where your circulatory system comes in. Think of your network of arteries and veins as the power lines that carry that vital energy to every part of your body. The key to keeping these lines open and efficient is a molecule called nitric oxide. It acts as a vasodilator, telling your blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing blood to flow freely. This is absolutely critical for an erection, which is, at its core, a hydraulic event dependent on a massive, rapid surge of blood flow. When nitric oxide levels are low, those power lines become narrow and constricted, and the energy simply cannot get where it needs to go. Now you can see the devastating 1-2 punch that so many men over 60 experience. First, the testosterone power plant begins to operate at a lower capacity, meaning less energy is being produced overall. This is why your muscles feel weaker and your energy levels plummet. Second, your body's ability to produce nitric oxide declines. constricting the power lines. So the diminished energy that is being produced has an even harder time reaching its most important destinations, like the intricate vascular tissues of your penis. This is why a man can still feel desire, but find his body completely unresponsive. The command is being sent, but the delivery system has failed. But what if I told you that you have the power to repair both the power plant and the transmission lines? This isn't about a magic pill or a fantasy. It's about providing your body with the specific raw materials it has been deprived of for years. We are not trying to build a new system. We are simply giving your body the essential tools to restore its own innate, powerful design. The solution lies in rebuilding your body's foundational framework from the inside out, addressing the root cause of this system-wide failure. This is how we turn a flickering ember back into a steady, confident flame, restoring power to your entire grid. The first step is to supply the right building blocks, and for men, two of the most critical are zinc and magnesium. Think of these minerals as the master mechanics for your testosterone power plant. Zinc is directly involved in the very synthesis of the testosterone molecule. A deficiency in zinc is like asking your mechanics to build an engine without any bolts. Magnesium, on the other hand, plays a crucial role in making the testosterone you do have more bioavailable, essentially unsticking it from proteins so your body can actually use it. Providing your body with optimal levels of these two nutrients is the most direct way to begin servicing the engine of your masculinity. Next, we must clear the pathways. We need to boost your body's production of nitric oxide to reopen those crucial circulatory highways. One of the most effective ways to do this is by ensuring you have enough of the amino acid L-Citrulline. Your body converts L-Citrulline into L-Arginine, which is the direct precursor to nitric oxide. Supplementing with L-Citrulline is like sending a specialized cleaning crew to scrub the inside of your pipes, allowing for a smooth, powerful flow of blood. This not only fuels stronger erections, but also improves blood flow to your muscles, heart, and brain, enhancing your overall vitality and feeling of being truly alive. But supplements alone are not the entire answer. You must send a clear, powerful signal to your body that strength is still in demand. This is the use it or lose it principle in action. You don't need to become a bodybuilder. A simple, 2-minute daily routine can create a profound hormonal shift. For example, practicing standing from a chair without using your hands for 1 minute, and squeezing a firm stress ball in each hand for another minute. This simple act tells your body, we are not shutting down, we need strength, we need power. This signal alone can stimulate testosterone production and improve how your body uses energy. This physical stimulus does something remarkable. It creates a positive feedback loop. When you challenge your muscles, even gently, they become more sensitive to insulin, which is crucial for metabolic health and can directly impact erectile function. Furthermore, the act of reclaiming physical strength, even in small ways, sends a powerful message to your brain. It rebuilds confidence from the ground up. Each time you stand a little easier or grip a little tighter, you are dismantling the narrative of decline and replacing it with a story of renewal. You begin to trust your body again, a trust that is absolutely essential for confident, relaxed intimacy. Finally, we support this entire process with what you eat. You can become a nitric oxide boosting machine simply by incorporating certain foods into your diet. Dark leafy greens like spinach and arugula, along with beets, are packed with natural nitrates that your body converts directly into nitric oxide. Think of these foods as a daily tune-up for your circulatory system. A handful of spinach in a smoothie or a side of beets with dinner is not just food, it is medicine. It is a conscious choice to fuel the very system that delivers life, energy, and power to every part of your being, from your heart to your erection. Imagine Robert, a few months from now. He's in the kitchen, and Maria hands him that same stubborn jar. This time, he takes a breath, plants his feet, and with a steady, powerful twist, the lid pops open. He hands it back to her, and the look in her eyes is not one of pity, but of admiration, of seeing the man she fell in love with standing right in front of her. That small victory in the kitchen translates into a renewed confidence that he carries into the bedroom later that night. There is no more fear, no hesitation. There is only connection, restored by the simple, powerful act of taking back control of his own health. Think of Arthur deciding to finally join that travel group. He packs his own bag, lifts it into the car with ease, and spends the day walking through a new city, his stride steady and confident. He finds himself in conversation with a woman from the group, laughing and sharing stories without the nagging internal voice of self-doubt. He feels not like a fragile old man, but simply like a man, interesting, capable, and full of life. He hasn't just regained the strength in his legs. He has regained the possibility of a future filled with new experiences, new friendships, and perhaps even new love. His world is no longer shrinking. It is expanding once again. These transformations are not fantasy. They are the direct result of understanding that your body is a single, interconnected system. When you nourish your hormones, clear your circulatory pathways, and signal your muscles that they are still needed, the result is not just a stronger grip or a firmer erection. The result is a total reclamation of your masculine energy. You begin to stand taller, speak with more conviction, and move through the world with a renewed sense of purpose and dignity. You stop feeling like a passenger in a body that is failing you and become the pilot, confidently charting a course toward vitality. This journey begins with a simple choice. The choice to stop accepting weakness as an inevitable part of aging. The choice to reject the shame and silence that surrounds this issue, and to seek out real, science-based solutions. The men I see who succeed are the ones who get tired of the excuses and the quiet desperation. They are the ones who decide that their vitality, their confidence, and their relationships are worth fighting for. They understand that rebuilding their body is the most profound act of self-respect they can undertake, a declaration that their best years are not behind them. The practical steps are straightforward. First, you must provide the foundational nutrients. This means incorporating high-quality zinc and magnesium supplements to refuel your testosterone production. This is non-negotiable. You cannot build a sturdy house with rotten wood. This is the internal work that lays the groundwork for everything else. It is the first and most critical step in signaling to your body that a new era of strength and renewal is beginning. This is where you start to fix the power plant, ensuring the energy source is robust and reliable, ready to power your entire system. Simultaneously, you must commit to boosting your nitric oxide levels. This can be a combination of a supplement like L-Citrulline and a conscious effort to eat more nitrate-rich foods like beets, garlic, and leafy greens. This is how you clear the power lines. Imagine turning on a fire hose that has been kinked for years. The sudden, powerful rush of flow is what you are aiming for in your circulatory system. This increased blood flow will not only have a dramatic impact on your erectile quality, but will also enhance your mental clarity and physical stamina, making you feel sharper and more alive in every way. Then, you must integrate the strength habit into your daily life. Just 2 to 5 minutes a day, that's it. Bodyweight squats while the coffee brews. Squeezing a tennis ball while watching the news. These small, consistent actions accumulate into a powerful hormonal and psychological signal of revival. You are actively telling every cell in your body that you are a man who requires strength, a man who is still in the game. This physical practice is what turns the key in the ignition, taking the fuel and the spark you've provided and turning them into real, tangible power you can feel. This three-pronged approach, nourishing your hormones, clearing your circulation, and signaling your muscles, works in perfect synergy. It is a holistic strategy that honors the way your body was designed to function. You are not tricking your body or forcing it to do something unnatural. You are simply removing the obstacles that have been holding it back and providing the essential resources it has been crying out for. This is the path back to the man you know you are, a man of strength, confidence, and unwavering virility. It is about restoring the core of your masculine power. Let me be clear. This is not an overnight fix, but it is a permanent one. This is about building a new foundation for the rest of your life. The fatigue you feel, the weakness in your limbs, and the disappointment in the bedroom are not your destiny. They are symptoms of a system that is out of balance. By taking these deliberate, science-backed steps, you are taking the controls and restoring that balance. You are choosing to actively create a future where you are not defined by your age, but by your strength, your passion, and your unbreakable spirit. The man who struggles to open a jar and the man who fears intimacy are the same man, and the man who reclaims his physical power is the same man who will reclaim his sexual confidence. The connection is undeniable and absolute. When you feel that strength returning to your hands, you will feel that same powerful surge of life-giving blood flow returning to every part of your body. You will not only see the difference in the mirror, you will feel it in your spirit. You will feel the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are a capable, virile, and whole man once again. Your age does not define your virility. Your actions do. The power in your hands, the confidence in your stride, and the firmness of your erection are not lost memories. They are your birthright, accessible at every stage of life. I need you to understand that the spark of your masculinity has not been extinguished. It has merely been starved of the right fuel. Think of it as a powerful engine that has been running on fumes for far too long. By providing it with the essential nutrients and the right signals, you are not just making minor repairs, you are performing a complete overhaul, allowing that engine to roar back to life with the steady, reliable power that defines you. This is your moment to choose strength over surrender and vitality over decline. This journey back to your full masculine power is a profound act of self-respect. It is a declaration that you refuse to become a spectator in your own life. Every conscious choice you make, from supplementing with zinc and magnesium to performing those simple daily strength exercises, is a vote for a future filled with confidence and connection. You are not just fixing a physical problem, you are rebuilding the very foundation of your self-worth. You are rewriting the narrative of aging from a story of inevitable loss into an inspiring saga of reclamation. The man who takes these steps is a man who honors his past, commands his present, and builds a future where he is not just surviving, but truly, powerfully, thriving in every sense. This transformation will ripple through every aspect of your existence. When you regain that unshakable trust in your body's strength, it changes how you walk, how you speak, and how you interact with the world. You will no longer be the man who hesitates, but the man who acts. You will be the reliable rock for your family, the passionate partner to your lover, and the confident captain of your own ship. The shame and anxiety that once created a cold distance in your relationships will be replaced by a warm, magnetic confidence. This is about more than just sexual performance. It is about reclaiming the vibrant, life-giving energy that makes you feel fully and completely alive, restoring your dignity and your essential place in the world. This is not just a video. It is the beginning of a movement for men who refuse to fade into the background. This is for men who are ready to fight for their health, their relationships, and their virility. If you are one of these men, if you are ready to reclaim the powerful man you are, I want you to join us. Make your commitment known by commenting with the single word **powerful ** below. Let it be your public declaration. Share this video with a brother, a father, or a friend who is fighting this battle in silence, and be sure to subscribe. Together, we are building a community of real men who understand that it is never, ever too late to reignite the fire within.